Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe I heard you say Mr. Green from Texas. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
Thank you very much, and I thank the ranking member. I'd like to yield now at this time to the ranking member of the full committee, the Honorable Maxine Waters.
Thank you very much, Mr. Green. Chairman Hotchberg, at our last joint subcommittee hearing on the Ex-Im Bank, a number of the bank's critics asserted that the bank is a scandal-plagued institution and used this excuse to call for the expiration of the bank's charter in June. These critics have also misleadingly suggested that because there are pending investigations of external actors who are seeking to take advantage of the bank, that this is in some way reflects in every single case on the character and integrity of the employees within the bank. Can you help set the record straight here? Are most of the instances of fraud the result of external actors or bank employees? Do most indictments of external actors result in subsequent indictments of bank employees as well? What policies and procedures you have in place to minimize fraud by both bank employees as well as the broader public?
Well, thank you, Ranking Member. Frankly, in addition, the Inspector General said and told me that no bank employees are involved in third-party fraud cases he's currently investigating. The 31 cases he's investigating are outside companies that tried to defraud the government of funds and loans. So these are outside companies. Frequently, they are identified by our employees who see something wrong, but he's also said at the current time he does not believe there are any, he has no reason to believe, and he does not expect any indictments of Ex-Im employees.
What evidence do you have to support the view that Ex-Im has a strong culture of high ethical standards and integrity?
The evidence I would support is the fact that in the case we discussed here in this hearing of Johnny Gutierrez was actually first of all, began in 2006, A, before we had an Inspector General, B, under President Bush, came to light in this administration, and he's been indicted and has pled guilty. And a case like that and others are brought to the attention of either the General Counsel or the Inspector General by employees who see something that does not look proper and therefore warrants further investigation.
I guess you may have alluded to it, but would you agree that the Inspector General's aggressive approach to going after individuals who seek to defraud the bank is actually indicative of a system that works?
Without question, I think it's a message to everybody when someone like Johnny Gutierrez is not only indicted, pleads guilty, and probably will be sentenced shortly.
Okay, there are a couple of things that have been said here today in discussion and questions by the members. Would you please recite your percentage of defaults that you have? Because I don't think that's been heard, and you were actually accused in one of the conversations by one of the members of having, I think he alluded to you having high default rates or something. Would you straighten that out for us?
Absolutely. We report our defaults as the last charter required, as one of the requirements and mandates of the last charter, every 90 days. We just sent a report this week for the period through March 31st, and it is currently 0.167%. It's actually less than 1/5 of 1%.
And I must say something about SpaceX. It happens to be in my district, and all of the members of Congress on both sides of the aisle have commended Mr. Musk and who have saluted his accomplishments and who have talked about how futuristic he is in talking about travel, and I just want to say that I'm pleased about the relationship that SpaceX has with Boeing and that they're able to supply some of Boeing needs, and it all works very, very well. Would you just conclude that SpaceX is a good investment and deserves support by
We are very proud to support SpaceX. They are competing tooth and nail against French government-backed and as well as the Russian and Chinese launch vehicles. So frankly, this is really good for America. There are about, I believe, 8,000 employees at SpaceX right now, plus a very vast supply chain.
And lastly, I'd like to commend you for going out into America and visiting companies to learn more about who they are and what they do so that it will enhance your ability to make decisions. And so I don't think you can do your job without getting out and going to these companies and understanding what they do. So whatever happens, and I think we're going to reauthorize this bank, I want you to keep going out into America and seeing what these companies are all about. Thank you, and I yield back the balance of Mr. Green's time to Mr. Balance, to Mr. Green.
The ranking member yields back. The gentleman time has expired.